secret. And he said, we must never talk about what goes on at this base. He leaned over the pulpit and he said, and don't think because you are women, you will receive any special consideration. He said, if you talk about what goes on here, you will be shot.
So far as is known, none were. The 200 testing machines clattered on day and night for the remainder of the war.
Once the United States came into the naval war, cooperation became extremely close between the British code breakers at Bletchley Park and the American naval code breakers at Nebraska Avenue in Washington. They were not actually hardwired together in that the machines, the bombs, the key finding aids were actually linked together, but the cooperation was extremely intimate in that when one found a key or a possible key, it was immediately reported to the other side of the Atlantic so both could recover the messages based on this key.
From mid-1943, with the information supplied by the code breakers, the tide began to turn in the Atlantic. Convoys still lost ships, but the introduction of new weapons, more long-range air cover, radar, and small escort carriers helped to destroy the menace of the U-boats. It is now more than 45 years since the U-boat surfaced for the last time to surrender. Just how big a role did the code breakers play in winning the war? Much of their work is still secret, but it is clear that the code breakers stopped the Battle of the Atlantic from being lost until the improved weapons arrived to make sure that it could be won. What about the wider assessment? If the code breakers hadn't broken the Japanese Purple or JN-25 codes and the German Enigma machine, the war could well have dragged on into 1947 or beyond. The flow of intelligence was the best-kept secret of the war.
With the information available from code breaking, the Allies were able to divert their convoys around the wolf packs. They were able to win battles on land. In the Pacific, the Americans were able to defeat the Japanese at the Battle of the Midway, turning the tide of the war in the Pacific. And the war was considerably shortened by these activities, thereby saving lives and preventing many women and children from becoming widows and orphans. And in the end, code breaking became the preeminent source of intelligence, and it remains so today.
In 1945, as Allied troops entered Berlin, they found the city in ruins. The Reichstag was a burned-out shell. American search teams were very interested in the unobtrusive building that housed the Japanese consulate. The house and grounds were gone over with a fine-tooth comb, and in a bunker they found a strange piece of equipment that they couldn't identify. It was sent to Washington and ended up on Frank Rowlett's desk. He immediately recognized it as the heart of a Japanese Purple machine. To this day, it remains the only part of a Japanese Purple machine ever recovered.